I really do not believe that humans realize how loopy this area is ready to get. I imply we simply witnessed one in every of the most important actions on this space, yet it feels like no person definitely cares. Or perhaps they just don't understand how big it simply was. So, on this video, I really want to cope with simply how placed Ripple is to absolutely take over. All the obstacles around us are beginning to fall down. Welcome to the channel, each person. My call is Nick. For those which are new to the channel, optimistically by the stop of this video, you do grow to be a subscriber. Let's dive on into this submit right here from Smoke Dog, because this is a quoted publish in which we saw SAB 121 absolutely repealed, starting up the floodgates for banks and institutions. Institutional investors are approximately to flood the market, and what you have not been taking note of is the truth that quietly behind the curtain, every principal financial institution, shall we say that one more time, every principal bank inside the US of A has been launching blockchain packages and products and services, a few for his or her institutional clients, others for their retail debts. Guys, this consists of Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, Schwab, Fidelity, and the Fortune 500 has been all over this too. Starbucks, Nike, Western Union, PayPal, Walmart, Disney, you name it. And traders are starting to pay attention, and they may be beginning to flood the marketplace. Let's investigate this. Okay, with SAB 121 repealed, opening the doors for banks, why do I trust that Ripple and XRP are at the forefront of this? Well, permit start out with this video. You guys, in all likelihood, don't forget this video clip, right? This is crazy. Bank after financial institution after bank. This response could be symptomatic of the golden age wherein Ripple and the XRP will basically dominate the marketplace. This is from Paul Barron. Look at this reaction. Here's the list of all Ripple partnerships. You can, of Path, see a lot of these exclusive guy that is crazy, but these are all, there may be SBI holdings right there. Simply bank after financial institution after financial institution. I suggest there it's far, men. This is, and that is simply, this is probably simply what is in, you already know, the coffer proper now versus the deals that they're in, all likelihood working nowadays to begin to execute this even extra. So is that this a drowsing large that might be waiting for an explosion? And you already know once more, this was 6 years in the past when this listing of Ripple partnerships got released. Now, can we confirm each unmarried one on here nowadays? It's tough to do so, okay? I simply want to make that transparent. But we do know, in the courtroom files, 1,700 NDAs. We do not know what the ones' contracts had been, but they may be NDA'd. We recognize that they have been in discussions with like 15 to 30 relevant banks. I imply how many partnerships can we assume Ripple has signed inside the remaining, I do not know, 3 years, 4 years? We recognize that Brad Garlinghouse did say that they signed up extra partnerships in the closing 6 weeks than in the closing 6 months in the US. I imply there must be something like there has to be a bigger listing accessible that we do not know approximately that Ripple has that names every unmarried partnership that they have with each single most important financial institution. I should simply imagine what that list looks like now as we do think about this. Allows pass over here. Ripple, over the direction of the past 4 years, has slowly gathered masses of bank customers and cash transmitters as part of the RippleNet atmosphere. Since the USA elections, Ripple has signed extra customers than they had inside the preceding 6+ months. And that is from Chad. Okay, and you realize that is something that I were focused on as properly. I positioned out a submit regarding this proper. I said human beings appear to miss the partnerships that Medeco had prior to Ripple acquiring them. Standard Chartered, BBVA, Societe Generale, Swiss Quote, Union Bank of the Philippines, Fifth Third Bank, BNY Mellon, Citigroup, UBS, BNP Paribas, JP Morgan, DZ Bank, VP Bank. Then we take a look at the partnerships that Ripple has with most important banks for more than one answers proper. We have PNC, HSBC, Standard Chartered, SBI Holdings, Fubon Bank, BMO, I imply, men, the list is going on here. And I stated that there are possibly hundreds or maybe thousands of partnerships that we do not even realize approximately because of NDAs. It's clear at this factor that Ripple is turning into a monster within the banking monetary area. All paths lead to XRP for my part as well, in spite of ROUSD, considering there are numerous different stablecoins too, with XRP being a really perfect bridge. And yet I imply, men, whilst we study, while we examine Medeco is a large awareness for me, in my opinion. Okay? We're going to come returned to that point right here in a second, but I need to play this clip right here. Due to the fact this became at Davos and this changed into Larry Fink, this is the beginning. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink emphasizes that I'm a large believer of crypto and blockchain and tokenization, and I want the SEC, this is a loopy assertion by the way, I want the SEC to hastily approve the tokenization of bonds and shares. BlackRock is now placing the pressure on. This is a big statement, however, take a look at this out. As a large believer of crypto and blockchain and tokenization, I suggest I need the SEC to rapidly approve the tokenization of bonds and shares on the way to simplify things, make things less complicated. Some of the tax on BlackRock might in no way should vote on a proxy vote anymore due to the fact every proprietor or file might be notified via a tokenization of equities, and it'd keep extra money for more human beings. It would bring down the cost of ownership of stock and bonds, not, you realize, as a huge. And concentrate. BlackRock has been very vocal on tokenization. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, due to the fact, once more, when we study Ripple custody, when we examine the Medeco acquisition, that was all cast through banks, like that was all centered around banks. Like Ripple custody is targeted on with banks and Ripple custody. It all begins with custody. Custody is the massive driving force of the whole thing. We're speaking about tokenization use cases. We're talking approximately DeFi use instances, lending and borrowing use cases round DeFi in phrases of institutional DeFi. It all starts off evolved with custody, okay, and society well known. One name in this listing, we recognize again in November that they launched, nicely introduced, a release of its year's Vise stablecoin on the XRP ledger in 2025 with Ripple custody, powering the mixing. Years of fee will gain from close to immediately agreement, low charge, scalability, and the safety of the XRP ledger. We know that this turned into a totally huge deal. But this highlighted precisely why Ripple custody is so important to recognition on and why all